Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lunch table. My name's Evan. I'm here. I'm joined with Zach, Nick, and Joel, the usual crew. And today we're going to be reviewing Week 3 of the NFL season and giving our Week 4 predictions. But before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and to follow us at lunchtable.takes on Instagram and TikTok. And we'll jump right in here to Week 3 slate of games. Honestly, this was kind of a boring week, but there was a couple of standout games. Thursday was a blowout. We're not really going to touch much on that. The Jets kind of handled the Patriots like everybody expected them to. But on Sunday, we'll start off with the Vikings-Texans. The Vikings upset the Texans 34-7. Sam Darnold threw 4 touchdowns. And he's got the Vikings looking pretty good right now. They're 3-0. Are they a legit playoff team with Sam Darnold at the helm? Just crazy to say.
I think they are, to be truthfully honest with you. The thing about Minnesota that's been super impressive has been their defense. Brian Flores has that defense humming on all cylinders, and they're not just beating good teams, they're dismantling good teams. They beat the Niners by 6 last week, but they were up by 2 scores for like the majority of that game. And then obviously they just beat the Texans by 27 points. I don't know how Sam Darnold is playing as well as he is, but he's playing out of his mind right now. 181 yards and 4 touchdowns against Houston is not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. And their offensive line is opening up holes for Aaron Jones. Like, he is not just getting like 100 yards a game, he's averaging like 5 yards a carry right now, which is pretty for someone like Aaron Jones, not like a Josh Jacobs or a Saquon Barkley or something. For Aaron Jones, that's really good. They've got an impact player defensively in Jonathan Grenard that can get to the quarterback. Their defense as a whole has been stifling. Brian Flores has them humming on all cylinders, and they have good quarterback play and a star receiver. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I makes no sense because the Vikings have the most random good seasons ever, but I think they're legit. I think they are a real problem in the NFC.
And I was going to actually piggyback off yours, Nick. I was going to emphasize the defense, and I think that's playing a major factor. I think Sam Darnold comes back down to earth. There's no way he is going to continue to lead the NFL in passing touchdowns.
Oh, no chance.
There's no chance. But I think their chance to be in the playoffs is heavily dictated on how that defense is going to be. And we didn't even expect them to be that good, let alone after everything that happened, like the chaotic and tragic summer that they had in their DB room. Like, it was unbelievable. It seemed like they were down to their, 4th corner?
Yeah, like
at one point.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's a testament to Brian Flores and how well of a defensive-minded coach he is and what he can bring to the table. They made CJ Stroud look bad.
He had his first truly bad game in the NFL.
He looked rough.
He looked like a rookie again.
Yeah, he looked rough in this game, and I mean, not a whole lot of teams have been able to do that. So I mean, props off to him. I think, especially when you start off a season 3-0, that definitely fares well in your favor. I'm gonna say that they got a stronger case for me for a playoff team. I think they're still fighting wild card though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously huge win. Sam Darnold 4 touchdowns. He leads, like Joel stated, leads the NFL in touchdowns, 5th in QBR. He's on a redemption tour right now, kind of reviving his career, and it's good to see him. I'm happy for him because he was this super highly touted quarterback prospect, and then never just really panned out. But kind of when everyone kind of writ him off and kind of lost hope on him, he's playing well. And what's crazy is he's only 27. He's the same age as Joe Burrow. He's 1 year younger than Josh Allen. Like, he's not an old quarterback by any means, and he's been in the league for how long now? Like, since when did he get drafted? 2017? 2018. So he's been in the league for 7 years. I mean, it's crazy how he's playing right now. I think Kevin O'Connell is a great head coach. I think that's everyone's kind of seeing that now. Brian Flores has completely changed this defense. Getting Jonathan Grenard was a huge pickup. He had 3 sacks, which is unreal. And yeah, I mean, after their rough offseason where it seemed like everything went wrong for him, we all kind of writ him off, and they're, 3-0, which is tough to do. So, and yeah, I mean, they made C.J. Stroud look bad. I mean, 2 interceptions. He threw like 6 all last season.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's just a testament to how well they're playing on defense and stuff. And yeah, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to be able to keep this, continue to play as well as he has. But that defense is super encouraging, and that's going to be a reason why they win games. I mean, they have some winnable games here towards the end. Their schedule does get a little bit tougher. They play the Packers next week, then they go to London, play the Jets, then they play the Lions, the Rams. So they got a couple good matchups to see if they're truly a legit team. I mean, they've already beat the Texans and the 49ers, who were 2 teams that preseason everyone was thinking could make a Super Bowl. So I've been very shocked with how they're playing, and they've been playing very well to start off the season. So I think definitely they could make the playoffs. That division is still tough. We'll see how Green Bay does once Jordan Love comes back. But I mean, you still have Detroit, who's still a great team as well. So that division is going to be pretty interesting throughout the year, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how the Vikings are doing this. This is like the biggest surprise of the year so far, I think, for me. Sam Darnold having a career resurrection. Defense been playing really well. Yeah, I mean, they've destroyed the 49ers and the Texans in back-to-back weeks. No clue how or why this is happening, but good for them, I guess.
Yep, good for them.
Yeah,
it's also it's cool to see. I mean, you get one of these just about every year, and like one team that's like, okay, they look better than what we expected. So it's at least it seems like last year it was the Houston.
Yeah.
Texans.
Well, but I mean, Houston had pieces in place. You know, it's like, I mean, I thought the Vikings were going to win like 3 or 4 games this year. You know,
and they already got 3 wins. So
I know it's like, you know, the Texans last year, they definitely had like, you know, C.J. Stroud coming in, new head coach, you know, Will Anderson on the defensive line. So it's like they had pieces.
Yeah.
Did not expect this at all out of the Vikings. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, didn't you have them at like 3-14?
I'm pretty sure I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was right there with him.
Yeah. I think we all thought they were going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. Eagles, they beat the Saints 15-12. That was kind of a game. Saquon Barkley the Eagles would be 0-3 without Saquon Barkley.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The Eagles would be 3-0 if Saquon Barkley caught that pass. So
that
it's
is
like
true.
They are the most error-prone good team I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The amount of mistakes they make on a week-to-week basis is absurd. But
it's
they still find a way to win games.
Most of the time.
They still find ways to win games.
Unbelievable.
That's all I really have to say about that game. Because the game as a whole was kind of terrible. But
yeah, it was bad. The Broncos, they shocked people. They throttled the Bucks 26-7, and Bo Nix didn't throw a touchdown.
Bo Nix played well.
He still hasn't thrown a touchdown yet in 3 games, but they won.
I did not expect that at all.
No,
we all picked the Bucks, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought there was no way Denver was going to win that game, and they came out and dominated Tampa Bay. So,
of all the games that I thought maybe that we all picked the same team, I did not expect that one.
Yeah,
to be wrong. Yeah, I mean the Bucks. I mean they've been playing well too. I mean,
yeah, it's just
they
one of
beat
those
the Lions last week, so
they went in and just punked them.
Yeah.
I wonder if they probably were looking ahead. Thought it was a gimme based off how they played the first 2 weeks.
Maybe.
No game in the NFL is a gimme.
That's very, very true.
No game is a gimme.
I mean, Chris Godwin's been playing pretty well. He's tied for first in touchdowns and has his most touchdowns since 2021. He's been playing pretty well.
He's played out of the slot, which
is good.
Yeah.
Finally, putting him in the slot is the big.
He's always been best in the slot. I don't know why they tried to move him away from that.
I don't either. It doesn't make sense. But
yeah,
who knows? They're there for a reason, and we're sitting here on here.
Bucky Irving, he outcarried Rachaad White. He's been
because he's a better running back than Rachaad White.
He is.
Yeah, that is
Rachaad
true.
White is a pass catcher, which is great for fantasy, but in terms of actually,
he hasn't even really done much in fantasy this year.
No, not yet. But
who, Rachaad or Bucky?
Rachaad.
Well, neither one really, but
Bucky's been better. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely a better running back. Rachaad White's definitely strictly a pass catching back. I think we've seen that the past 2 years. I mean, even last year, he had a really, really good year fantasy-wise, and he was extremely inefficient through the running game. He's still a really talented back. It's just totally different kind of back.
Yeah.
The Packers, Malik Willis revenge game, he showed out. He beat the Titans. He had 2 touchdowns, 73 rushing yards, and the Titans are 0-3, which I guess some people probably thought.
Listen,
it's not shocking.
I really don't want to harp on Green Bay, but I do think that game says more about Tennessee than it does Green Bay.
Yeah,
Tennessee is awful. I don't know why they've been so bad, but they've been.
I would agree with that. I mean,
my take's not aging as bad anymore.
Didn't mean you both have the Titans winning 3 games this year?
I had them going 2-15.
I had them at 6-11 because I thought
I had them
they
winning
still had
3 or 4 games.
Good NFL pieces, but
they suck, dude. They're really bad.
They're getting the full Will Levis experience right now.
Yeah, Will Levis is not good. This is not a good.
Love it, man.
So I think that this definitely
bad interception.
Yeah. I think that this definitely
is. Yeah, he threw a pick 6.
So that's 4 straight games with a bonehead pass.
I think that this definitely does talk more about their terribleness than the Packers, though. I mean, because the Packers are still rolling with Malik Willis.
I think that's.
I don't think we should be fooled.
They're just a good team, dude.
Yeah,
they're just.
The Packers are a good team, but
Xavier McKinney has 3 picks in 3 games too. That was a addition and a half for the Packers.
Hey, look at us, Evan.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know the Packers are a good team. I have them in the Super Bowl this year in our preseason predictions. So I know they're a good team. I'm just saying, they have Malik Willis at quarterback.
Yeah, they're still winning games. So
it's the Titans are just terrible.
Yeah, Jordan Love might be back this week.
Which is good.
He was questionable last game.
Who is Green Bay playing this week?
They play the Vikings.
Oh, yeah. That might be a game where he needs to try to play.
Lambeau or
it's in Lambeau.
Okay.
For early division standings, that might be a game that he needs to come back if he can.
Yeah.
This was a game that none of us really saw happening. The Giants beat the Browns 21-15. The Browns made the Giants look like an actually decent football team.
This was a heinous game. This was unwatchable. This was just a terrible football game.
The only bright side to this game was Malik Neighbors.
The Browns were unbelievably bad. This was a Bengals level offensive line performance. This was truly pitiful offensive line play.
You can't even blame Deshaun Watson for this though. He had
Deshaun Watson wasn't no time in that game. It's just the line was terrible.
Deshaun Watson had no time.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything.
This was an embarrassingly bad.
I can't say this. I can't say Malik Neighbors was the only highlight because Amari Cooper did ball out.
Yeah, Amari Cooper
had a day.
That game was highlighted by the 2 wide receivers. That's it.
Why on earth did the Browns not put Denzel Ward on Neighbors? For the entire game.
I think the Giants are just moving Malik Neighbors around all over the place. I don't
think
realize
Denzel Ward needs to be shadowing him.
Well, he lined up out wide, and then they motioned him in to like around the slot area, and then they would snap it. There were times where they did that.
Yeah.
He would line up in the slot. He would line up out wide. He'd line up in the backfield. He was everywhere.
You can't, if they're using a guy in motion like that, you can't have one corner shadowing him the whole time. It's just not, you can't do it.
I think you can, and I think that they probably
if
should
you have
look into that.
prime Darrelle Revis, but like you'd have to change your whole scheme and whatnot to cover
Not
that.
really. You just move like two pieces of, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to debate football strategy with you guys right now, but I think that Denzel Ward should have been a lot more involved in the coverage of Malik Neighbors than he was. He is quite literally the Giants' only player, so not really sure what that was all about.
Wan'Dale Robinson did have a pretty good day himself.
I'm not worried about it. I would rather Wan'Dale Robinson beat me than Malik Neighbors.
I'm just saying. I was just throwing it out there.
Here's what when I said the Giants were going to go 5-12. This is what I was talking about. I think their defensive line will single-handedly win them like 4 more games.
And then on the offensive side of the ball, Malik Neighbors does some
yeah. It's going to happen more this season than random points, but the Giants are still not a good team. I don't know what to think of Cleveland though, because I get their offensive line was terrible, but you still allowed Daniel Jones to look like an All-Pro in this game. So it's like I don't know if their defense is that solid this year. And if their defense is not that solid, the Browns are cooked because they don't have any quarterback play.
But also the offense really wasn't putting them in the best situations either to succeed.
Yeah.
Like I'm not defending,
but it's the Giants, dude.
I'm saying this. I'm not defending the Browns defense. I thought they played rough, but also the offense didn't help them out. They got bailed. Like the offense got bailed out by the defense a couple times. Like the first play of the game, you cause a fumble, good stuff. You get a couple 3-and-outs, and the Browns offense did nothing with it.
Yeah.
And then you also have to factor this in. What on earth was Jerome Ford's fumble?
Yeah, that was a backbreaker.
What
late in the fourth
on
quarter.
earth? Like, I don't know.
You can't do that in that moment in time.
No, I'm more concerned about the offense than I am the defense, and I'm pretty sure that's a down the board. Every single person on this podcast, does the same thing. But I mean, yeah.
This might be a head scratcher come January for Cleveland.
Yeah. AFC North not looking too hot right now.
No, they're not as a whole.
It's not.
Outside of the team in Pittsburgh, because,
Somehow they're 3-0. I feel like, though, if you're a Giants fan, these last 2 weeks have been encouraging. Because, I mean, obviously they know Daniel Jones is not their guy, and they're probably going to move on from him. But, I mean, you have your bona fide wide receiver one for the future who has elite upside and looks like he could be one of the better receivers in this league if he continues to play how he's playing. I mean, he can do pretty much everything. He's a great route runner, super athletic. And so I think if you can get that quarterback and try to slowly build that offense, then they might have something, because the defensive line is pretty good already. That front seven, we saw this game. I mean, they had 8 sacks, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely encouraging that, because I mean, if we're being honest, the Giants have missed on a lot of their top picks recently. So it's probably good for Giants fans to see one kind of pan out, at least for right now. But I mean, Malik Neighbors looks really good, and I think if they can get quality quarterback play, then that offense might be a little bit better.
Malik Neighbors looks like he's an animal.
This wide receiver class might be
one of the best we've seen in a while.
Because Marv is performing too. Like
Marv's
we're not going to gloss over that.
Xavier Worthy's still getting there. Romo Dunze had a big day.
Touchdown. Yeah, he had a touchdown against Indy. Yeah. So,
like, you're starting to see these top level guys from this past year's draft start really balling out, and it's awesome. If you got a solid core like those 3 in particular, that's nice. Now it's a matter of if you can get a couple of those guys later in the rounds to pan out. Luke McCaffrey, maybe.
Yeah, he's certain. Well, Nick, do you want to talk about the Colts-Bears game? I know it was kind of
I can briefly talk about it. This game was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say that this game was like an elite game of football. This game
was the best game of the week.
But the Colts sucked slightly less than Chicago did. So, they picked up the win. You remember a couple years ago when they beat the Chiefs, and I was like, I still don't think this is a great team, but hey, they are not 0-2-1, and they just beat like a decent team. So who knows where they go from here? And then they still were terrible. That's kind of how I feel after this game. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Anthony Richardson was the worst player on the field in that game. He was awful. And it wasn't like Green Bay where he was just trying to force balls into windows that weren't there. He was making decisions that genuinely made me question whether he has it at the NFL level. But he is fully bought in. He's fully bought into getting better. He's fully bought into this team. So I'm not going to jump ship on him for a long time. I don't think people should. But this is going to be one that if we look back on in a couple years and he's like a decent quarterback, we're going to be like, wow, how far has he come from this? Because this was bad. But Colts offensive line, statistically the best in the league. Jonathan Taylor's had back-to-back 100-yard games. He had multiple touchdowns in this game, won the game for Indianapolis. And their defense looked serviceable. If their defense can just be serviceable, this team could win like 9 or 10 games. I do fully believe that. But in this game, they were good. Caleb Williams had 363 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but he also threw the ball 53 times. So I'm not going to like praise him too much for this performance because, I mean, I'd expect you to have a stat line like that if you throw the ball 52 times. But Rome Odunze was getting open all day. Cole Kmet had a decent day. And the Bears' offensive line needs serious work. I'm sure you all have seen the picture of on the fourth and like goal from the 1 yard line where they tried to run like a speed option and the Bears' entire offensive line is just on the ground immediately. And there's like 8 Colts in the backfield. That is inexcusable. That is so bad. So that is definitely concerning for the Bears because if they want Caleb Williams to play all 17 games, they're going to need him to stay upright. And if they don't have an offensive line, he's not going to stay upright. Other than that, Laiatu Latu had his first real impact play as a Colt, sealed the game for him. So that was very exciting to see. We're going to need a lot more of that with DeForest Buckner being out for like a month at least.
Yeah.
But hey, the Colts picked up a win. I still don't think they're that great of a team, but if they beat Pittsburgh this week, then I'll start to believe again. Those are my takeaways from that game.
Duh, Colts.
I
don't have much to say. I said my 2 cents before the podcast about this game. I'm just going to piggyback. This game was terrible. Happy to see Rome Odunze do well. Yeah. DeAndre Swift lost me my fantasy matchup.
DeAndre Swift has been so bad for Chicago.
DeAndre Swift lost me my fantasy matchup. Congrats, Lucas.
I'd like to see Caleb Williams start performing. He had a lot of yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also had 2 picks. So I'm not really sure.
Do you think he's progressing well through first 3 games?
He's definitely improving.
Yeah.
There's noticeable improvement there, but
I was going to say that.
He's still not the best decision maker right now.
Yeah, he's not even close to where he should be. Yeah. Well, and I think, it's also not a great look for him when you've got Jaden Daniels performing like an unbelievably good quarterback right now.
We'll get to that later. But
yeah.
So, no, I'm just saying that I think Caleb Williams needs to kind of step his crap up here and get better very quickly because he was supposed to be doing what Jaden Daniels is doing in Washington, and I don't think he's performed very well at all throughout the first 3 weeks. So that needs to be changed very quickly if he is going to live up to the expectations It's early though, but
yeah, it's been 3 games, and I don't think it's his fault.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an offensive line or running game at all.
The run game has been
atrocious. Run game has been by far the worst in the NFL. They don't have a running game at all.
Here's the thing, though. People were saying it was Justin Fields' fault when he was not doing great in Chicago either. So you bring in a different quarterback who's supposedly more talented, and you fill the rest of this team in with far better weapons than Justin Fields has, and he is performing no better than Justin Fields.
Well, yeah, because this is his first year. He's played 3 games in the NFL. If he's still doing this by the end of the season, then we can have a discussion. But give him time.
I think the discussion needs to be had. He needs to step his crap up. I mean, Jaden Daniels is balling out right now.
But Jaden Daniels isn't a Chicago Bear. He's a Washington Commander.
The expectations, Nick, was for Caleb Williams to do what he's doing. He's not doing it. Jaden Daniels is 3 weeks in and surpassing far. What I'm saying is he needs to get better.
Well, yeah, and he's going. He is getting better. He is getting better. He's getting better every week. He's just not throwing for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns 3 games into his NFL career.
I saw somebody tweet, this is pretty true. It says Anthony Richardson can complete passes that 99% of NFL quarterbacks cannot complete. And Anthony Richardson cannot complete passes that 99% of NFL quarterbacks can complete.
That's accurate. That is very accurate.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm not even going to say anything.
Yeah, I think we know that the Bears this offseason need to definitely prioritize upgrading that offensive line.
Again.
They prioritized the weapons this offseason. They need to get the offensive line right. And then they'll be fine. But yeah, Caleb's been all right. Jaden's definitely been playing better than him, but it's 3 weeks in, and I think he'll be fine. But he has not had the instant impact that a lot of people thought he would have with this roster.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know.
The Panthers, they picked up their first win after benching Bryce Young.
Red rifle.
Insane. He had, 3 touchdowns? 4 touchdowns?
He had over 300 yards. Let me see. Let me look.
He's the only
319 and 3 touchdowns.
At the time of the post I sent you guys the other day, he was the only quarterback who has thrown for 300 yards in a game.
And 3 touchdowns.
And 3 touchdowns. Yeah. So, Andy Dalton, everybody.
Here's the thing with the Panthers. I still don't think I don't think they're a good team at all.
No, they're not.
But I think this was at the ceiling of what Andy Dalton is capable of doing. But Bryce Young was a problem. I'm just going to say it how it is. Bryce Young was a problem. I think this game single-handedly tanked his trade stock because you get a guy that's been in the league for X amount of years, but he comes back and that offense is miles better. It's like night and day how much better that offense is. Andy Dalton played really good. Shockingly. He played phenomenal. But I think this confirms that Bryce Young is just not that guy for Carolina. As sad as it is, as early as it is, I don't think he's got it. And I think this game proved it.
Yeah, they actually looked like a capable offense. They put up 36 points, which is triple the amount that they did the first 2 weeks. So
impressive.
Granted, it was against the Raiders, but still, even their running game looked good. Chuba Hubbard had 114 yards on the ground. So.
Hey.
Also, what is Antonio Pierce doing throwing his players under the bus post-game?
I have no idea.
Was I the only person that saw that?
No, I saw. He said they had to make serious.
He said players were making business decisions, so we're going to have to make business decisions.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what he said in the post-game presser.
I did not. Yeah. I did not know.
Even if you think that, you don't say that in a public press conference because now you've just completely tanked your team's morale entirely.
The locker room.
I thought they were like a tight-knit team because last week Max Crosby was like hyping up Gardner Minshew after he threw a pick against the Ravens, saying, okay, like we're going to get you the ball back. You're going to get another opportunity. We're all behind you. And now Antonio Pierce comes out and it's just like half our players don't want to play for us.
It's pretty bad.
I'm interested to see how that'll end.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I think they came out today and said that Gardner's still their quarterback.
He should be. It wasn't his fault that they lost.
The defense is atrocious.
Speaking of the Ravens, they almost choked their game. They won 28-25, but they were up by
28-6 in the fourth quarter.
They were dominating.
The Cowboys clawed back, but it wasn't enough. But one of my biggest takeaways is, obviously as a Bengals fan, the Ravens are legitimately going to run for 300 yards against us. Like, it's going to be awful.
Derrick Henry does not age.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, CeeDee Lamb had the worst game of his career. Like, he was terrible.
He got locked up remotely speaking. He still had 4 for 67, but
he still had 4 for 67, but he was
for
dropping.
CD standards, like he did not play well at all.
Well, he was also dropping passes. He had a fumble in there. Like,
you could tell he was extremely frustrated.
Oh yeah,
after the game too.
Yeah,
I listen. I think that there are problems with both teams. To be truthfully honest with you, Cowboys' run defense non-existent. They don't have it. They're as a team, I think they're soft. Like this was part of the issue that I had going into the season. I just don't think their locker room presence is all there with all the drama in the offseason. They don't have a run defense. Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry have gashed them on the ground, which, I mean, those are two pretty solid running backs, but if you're going to be a team that has the ambitions that the Cowboys do, you can't allow that.
Yeah.
And with Baltimore, I get they won this game, and the final score doesn't really show how this game went, but they have blown leads like this constantly over the past 3 years. Since 2021, there's been like probably 10 to 15 games where they've had a double-digit lead in the second half, and they've lost, or they've almost lost like this. Their defense is not as dominant as it was last year, but that was to be expected if you lose a guys like Patrick Queen and their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, going to Seattle. But as a whole, like, you can't be doing this. Like, their real test is going to come in January, but you can't be doing this. Even against an offense like Dallas, you can't be blowing a 28-6 lead. You gotta close this game out. And they did just enough. But if they don't complete that pass to, I think it was Zay Flowers on that third down, I genuinely think that they might lose this game and they drop to 0-3. Mm-hmm. By that fourth quarter, the Dallas offense is moving the ball at will, and all they needed was a field goal, and they could kick it from midfield with Brandon Aubrey.
He
send
is
the game into overtime. He is a weapon. It's like not 65-yard field goal, light work.
Dude,
what?
Yeah.
But those are my takeaways from this game. I think Dallas is a soft team. I think the Ravens have to close games better.
I mean,
they closed that one.
Didn't Justin Tucker miss a kick?
They technically closed that game. Justin Tucker missed a kick too.
Yeah.
He has fallen off real fast. It's kind of sad to see.
I think the Ravens are. I think they're trending upwards.
Well, I think they're trending
upwards gotta be able
too,
to
but they just gotta finish games.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen that in the playoffs and stuff too. I mean, they get to the big bad Chiefs, then they just make too many mistakes to win. So, yeah, you got to be able to finish these tough games. But yeah, I think more of the issues in this game are definitely on the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott were just not on the same page at all, and CeeDee Lamb was extremely frustrated. The Cowboys' run defense, like you said, is not great. This is definitely a much worse Cowboys team than we saw last year. So I'm not really sure what the issues are there, but
I mean,
definitely some internal issues with that team.
The writing was on the wall this offseason. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They were due for regression. When your only ad is really Ezekiel Elliott,
yeah,
like you didn't do anything to make your team better.
No, they didn't do anything this entire offseason.
In fact,
so it's probably not very shocking, I guess, to see them kind of trending downward here.
I mean, I probably should have factored that in more when we did predictions at the beginning of the season, but I didn't think it would be
for me, I just thought they didn't really lose anyone either. I mean, they got CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott back, so I kind of just figured...
They're basically running it back with the same team.
Yeah, so I kind of figured, and with how dominant this team was last year, I kind of figured, this will still be a pretty good team. But they are regressing.
Lost some offensive line.
Yeah.
Obviously, you lost Pollard, but...
but I don't know. They're definitely regressing, though. Even whether or not they had big losses. Either way, they're regressing pretty badly. But the Ravens made a good step forward, though, with this win. They
needed it.
Yeah,
they needed it badly, and they need to get better at closing out these close games, obviously. But they did on Sunday, so it's a step forward for them. Get one on the board for them. So if the Steelers have a pretty dominant lead of this division right now, though. So.
If they can
2-game lead through 3 weeks.
If they can, I'll say this: if they can go out and play a game as dominant as the first half was, like full game, both quarters, that is a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, that is Baltimore at their peak. That's a Super Bowl team that can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that the division will kind of tighten up. I think the Ravens will come back in the division. I think ultimately we could see it coming down to the Ravens or the Steelers, though.
Yeah, I would agree.
But it was a good step forward for the Ravens. Obviously I was rooting for them to lose because that's just me. But it was a good win for them.
That's just me. Because that's just me.
That's just me, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Lions, they beat the Cardinals 20-13. It wasn't a super high scoring game, but a pretty good win for Detroit. The Cardinals looked really impressive last week, and Detroit kind of came into Arizona.
Detroit's defense
shut them down. They couldn't get the running game going. Marv played well, but really outside of Marv and Michael Wilson, there was really not much offense there.
I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts in this game. I just want to say that hook and ladder to Jahmyr Gibbs was sick.
Yeah,
that play was crazy.
That was nasty. I will bring up this also. The Sam Laporta injury could play a big factor.
Yeah.
How long was he out for?
Do we know how long he's out?
It was a high ankle sprain.
Ooh, yeah. That's not easy to come back from.
And Trey McBride, he got a concussion too, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Said low ankle sprain.
Oh, it's low? Okay, never mind.
Then he won't be out that long then, probably.
It'll be like maybe 2.
Yeah, Sam Laporta is day-to-day right now.
It'll probably be a week or 2.
Yeah, he won't be out for a long time. If it was a high ankle sprain, then it's like a month.
Yeah. Yeah. That just goes to tell you about the tight end position this year. It's been, oh my gosh.
Kickers are the new tight ends.
I think Dallas Goedert's the number 1 tight end in fantasy right now.
It was Brock Bowers.
Game.
Yeah, because Dallas Goedert had like 30 points this week.
Yeah.
It was Brock Bowers before that.
Yeah, it was Brock Bowers because Gardner Minshew was targeting him like crazy. But
yeah,
it's been a weird year for tight ends. Speaking of tight ends, the 49ers, they lost to the Rams 27-24, and they also lost George Kittle as well. So that's a little concerning for them. But, Juwan Jennings had a phenomenal game. 175 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the losing effort, though.
What the?
Zach's going crazy.
Was that me?
No, that was me.
Oh.
It was me. My phone's right next to my laptop. Sorry.
Oh.
Nick or Evan, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
I was just saying the 49ers, and they lost George Kittle. And they obviously lost this game. They're at 1-2, so it's kind of they're down now Debo and Kittle. and Ayuk hasn't been playing well. So
CMC.
I mean, Jawan Jennings filled in just fine.
Yeah,
Jawan Jennings just filled in just fine. I think it's a testament to Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford, baby.
I don't like. I saw that the Niners were up 14-0. I went to go eat dinner with my family. Came back and the Rams were like on the goal line to tie the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't catch like a majority of this Rams comeback, but Brock Purdy played well.
He did.
He stepped up with everyone being out. Jordan Mason had a decent game. Matthew Stafford had an all right game, 221 yards and a touchdown. Kyron Williams had 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Jawan Jennings
receiving touchdown.
Yeah, Jawan Jennings was unbelievable, but
Kyron.
I don't
know what happened.
I don't know how the Niners even lost this game, even with all their injuries, because I can't like point on like a very glaring issue. Other than the fact that they're absolutely decimated with injuries, and now Javon Hargrave is out for the year with a torn tricep, I think it was.
That's bad.
They are decimated with injuries. They just need to stay afloat until they get all their guys back, to be truthfully honest with you.
Yeah.
And the Rams are also decimated with injuries, but that's a testament to Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford that they can come out and win games like this. It's an elite quarterback and an elite head coach, and that's all you need sometimes.
Amen.
Both teams are 1-2, and we talk about Pittsburgh having a 2-game lead on the AFC North. Seattle has a 2-game lead
they do.
on the NFC West right now, which is also something that we didn't think was going to happen.
When we did our season prediction.
We might
I had them at 500.
Yeah.
They haven't played anyone, though. They beat the Broncos, the Dolphins without Tua, and who else did they beat? I'm blanking.
The Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots. Yeah, and they needed overtime to win that game. I think they played Detroit on Monday night this week, so if they win that game, then I will start taking them seriously. But
all right. Last game on Sunday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Falcons 22-17. There was another controversial non-pass interference call. The Falcons ran a jet sweep, or I guess just a toss to Bijan on 4th and goal, and did not convert.
I don't think it's controversial. I think that was textbook pass interference, and they just didn't throw the flag.
Yes,
I'm glad we can at least agree on this one.
This was textbook PI, and they just did not throw the flag at all.
Yeah.
I don't like. This is the type of stuff where you genuinely think are the refs favoring the Chiefs, and I hate saying that.
Obviously, they are.
I hate saying that because I don't think that the NFL is like rigged at all. But it's stuff like this makes you
starting to get to the point where
genuinely think that, because the Falcons should have had the ball 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, down 5 with 4 minutes left.
And it's starting to get to the point where we can. It's starting to kind of get glaring. Where it's all right, is this seriously rigged or not here?
I don't think Atlanta deserved to win this game because they genuinely did nothing in the entire second half outside of that missed PI. They didn't do anything. That jet sweep on 4th and 1, where Tyler Allgeier's blocking his own guard instead of the linebacker shooting the gap.
Yeah, that wasn't.
What
great.
are we doing here?
That one wasn't great. I would have probably went a different route there, but honestly, I think this was a really great game for the most part. I think the Falcons are looking pretty good. Big fan of them right now.
1-2, but okay.
Kirk Cousins is looking pretty good. I'm a fan of this Falcons team. I like him. Truthfully, I think they had every chance to win this game. So, the refs missed a pretty bad call there. So, that took a score away from them. But, looking away from the refs, they were in field goal range there. Hindsight's 20/20, but probably should have kicked field goal.
Take the points.
So, I understand why he went for that, because to be honest with you, at the point in time when I was watching the game, I'm thinking, if I'm in this position, I'm probably going to go for it here. So I don't hate that decision at all, but I understand that decision. But, hindsight's always 20/20. I think either way, So I honestly really like the Falcons right now. I think Kirk Cousins played really well. Darnell Mooney's been playing really well the past 2 weeks. Drake London's showing up now. Yeah, that fourth down call was definitely questionable. I'm not really sure,
Bijan said that Kirk Cousins checked to that call at the line.
Yeah, I would have probably went a different route there, but I mean, obviously he saw something, so I'm not gonna trash him.
It doesn't help when your lead blocker blocks his own man.
Yeah, I mean that's not really Kirk Cousins'
a guard that's
instead of the
blocking
linebacker
two
running
people.
downhill.
Yeah, well,
and
I
think the linebacker shooting the gap. Like, what are we doing?
And even when they showed the replay, I mean, you could see that he clearly just ran right past the guy that shot through and made the play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like I said, I would have probably called a different play, but I'm also not going to hate on Kirk Cousins and this coach who's getting paid a lot more money than me. So, it is what it is. But honestly, I really like where the Falcons are at here.
It was a questionable play call with poor execution.
Yeah.
That's what I will say.
Yes, but, I like where the Falcons are at right now. I'm hopping on this Falcons train, because like I said, I think they had every chance to win this game. I think they should have won this game.
I need to see the Falcons play a complete game before I hop on the Falcons train because they're literally 1-2, and they probably should be 0-3.
No, they should be 2-1.
If Saquon catches that pass, they're 0-3.
And if my uncle had balls, she'd be my aunt.
Okay.
To say what you always say.
That is what I said. That does no. You said it wrong.
Whatever. You understand what I'm saying. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. That's the
There
Nick
you
saying.
go. Well, I was about to say, doesn't your uncle already have?
Yeah.
Doesn't your
It
uncle
is what it
already
is.
have
That's basically the Nick saying. That's basically the Nick saying for saying shoulda, woulda, coulda, or well, if it would have went this way, then this would have happened.
Yeah, I like saying that to piss people off.
It's Nick's classic arguments, like, oh, if Julian Edelman wouldn't have caught that, then the Patriots wouldn't have won the Super Bowl.
We're not getting into this again, but
that was hilarious.
That is literally facts, but we're not getting into that.
That's just your classic,
I will say that was funny.
Fake reality arguments here, but it is what it is. I think the Falcons very well could be 2-1 right now. They're 1-2, but
1-2 is probably an accurate representation of where they should be right now. Because they probably should have beat Kansas City and they probably should have lost to Philadelphia. So
I think that they're playing even though they're 1-2, this division is still pretty open for them. I think the Falcons are sitting in a solid spot here. And I think they got a good team. We're only 3 weeks into the season with a new head coach and a new quarterback. If I'm the Falcons, I'm pretty comfortable with where we're at right now.
Yeah, if they win this week, then they'll be sitting pretty. They play New Orleans at home, so it's a big game for them. Big game for both teams.
Yeah, for sure.
I have 2 takeaways from this game. Number one being Bijan is a heck of a run blocker. Like, he can block.
He is
there was
brick wall.
Plays where they would blitz him and he would just take him head on and give Kirk lots of time. Which I don't usually watch the running back blocking, but he can block. So I can partially see why Arthur Smith had him blocking a lot because he's a heck of a blocker, but he's also a heck of a runner. And something that's been very interesting is through 3 games, Travis Kelce has 8 catches for 69 yards and no touchdowns.
He's saving it for the postseason, just like he did last year.
But that's just still very bad. Obviously the Chiefs. Obviously,
I think it's turning over a new leaf because it's clear as day Rashee Rice is the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Travis Kelce is maybe he's 35 years old, so I don't know. Maybe that leaf is turning, but I'm sure he'll turn it back on when it counts, and everybody will be really mad because no one wants the Chiefs to win. But and that's when he'll come through.
We're going to emphasize that this week, and he's going to pop off this week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
all right, let's get into these 2 Monday games. We'll start off with the first game, the Bills and the Jags. The Bills just absolutely
I have a very short thing that I want to say about this. I'm just going to put mine out there and then let the other of you guys just go at it. But yeah, I think I'm out on Jacksonville. That'll be my short thing. Trevor Lawrence. I think the expectations need to be tampered way down. He is definitely not the franchise-altering quarterback that he had the expectations of being. I was on this train for a long time, and going into and on the podcast last week, I said, if they don't start performing, I'm going to probably hop off this train. Well, they go lose by 37 points. I'm hopping off that train. So expectations for Trevor Lawrence need to be far diminished, and the Jags are not good. This is a bad football team. So
on the flip side,
and if you want to talk about the flip side, Josh Allen is the MVP. He is single-handedly willing this Bills team to victories. That's my input.
Josh Allen is the best quarterback in football right now. He's better than Patrick Mahomes currently.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is single-handedly willing this team to wins. Dominant wins, mind you. So, yeah, I mean, the Bills are looking really, really good thanks to Josh Allen. Literally only Josh Allen.
Sean McDermott has that defense balling out with all the people they've lost.
This is quite surprising to me, but good for them. But I wanted to more so emphasize the Jags side. These guys, the Jags are a sucky football team right now. So I'm going to probably be hopping off that Jag train, and the expectations for Trevor Lawrence need to go from here to here.
I'm glad you have.
I'm right there with them. This was.
I mean, when you lose by 37 points,
yeah.
I had been giving him the benefit of the doubt even through last year when he wasn't great. Like he wasn't great last year. He was serviceable and he was like average last year, but he wasn't great. And I was still defending him. I was still on the Trevor Lawrence Jags train. But the start of the season hasn't really went very well for him either. So I'm starting to kind of be like, all right, maybe he's not quite that good. And then you go and lose on a Monday night game by 37 points.
In a must-win game, too.
37 points in the NFL.
This was Panthers Saints bad. They were down 34-3 at the half.
Yeah.
That's inexcusable. And that pick, I'm not going to harp on Trevor Lawrence because I think as a total game, he wasn't that terrible. But that pass that got picked by DeMar Hamlin was just as bad as some as Anthony Richardson's throws. That pass was 5 feet over the receiver's head, and it fell right to the arms of the safety.
I think that we have to look at Trevor Lawrence no longer as a franchise cornerstone quarterback, and we have to view him as more of a
in that Jared Goff tier where it's you can win with him. But you need a good roster around him. The Jags,
I think that's a pretty good. I would probably say he's relatively in the Jared Goff tier.
But yeah, I mean the Bills, they look very impressive this game. I mean Josh Allen, I think, is the front runner for MVP. I mean 4 touchdowns, 300 combined yards. Khalil Shakir became that wide receiver 1 for them, and a lot of people thought, us included, once they lost Stephon Diggs, that offense was not going to be very good. But, I mean, Josh Allen has willed that offense to, put up 47 points
to
in the NFL.
Status.
Is crazy. Yeah, and they've been pretty good. So, and that defense has been surprising. They obviously lost a lot of pieces on defense. Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Matt Milano's out for the year. So, they lost a lot of guys on defense. But, they've allowed – we're looking at – other than the Cardinals game, they've allowed 10 points to the last 2 opponents. So they have a tough test here against the Ravens on Sunday night in Baltimore. But I did not expect this Bills team to be where they are. And if Josh Allen keeps playing like this, he's going to carry him to the playoffs. He'll probably get his first MVP, which I think he deserves.
He deserves it.
Yeah,
by this point, he deserves it.
Yeah. All right, well, we saved this one for last for many reasons. The Bengals fall to 0-3 and a loss to the Commanders, 38-33. Jaden Daniels was as perfect as you can be. He was 21 for 23 with 254 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown. Terry McLaurin had 100 yards and a touchdown. On the other side, Joe Burrow played well. He had 29. He was 29 for 38 for 324, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had 118 for 2 touchdowns. But the biggest thing was the Bengals defense could not stop anything, and
they couldn't catch a cold.
Yeah, and the Commanders have scored on every possession in the last 2 weeks.
They scored every time they had the ball. Every time.
The Bengals didn't punt either, though. Defense as a whole was optional in this game. That game last night was one of the better NFL games I've seen in a long time. But Jaden Daniels, I'm going to admit I'm wrong. I was wrong about Jaden Daniels. I was wrong about Jaden Daniels.
Definitely were.
I thought that he was going to be not this year. I didn't think he was going to be that great at the NFL level. That kid is ridiculous. There were throws, that throw to Terry McLaurin to seal the game is one of the best throws I've seen in a long time. You've got 7 or 8 rushers coming your way. Geno Stone drills you. When you let that ball go, dot. Perfect to Terry McLaurin to seal the game. And as a whole, he was extending plays with his legs. He was finding open guys all game. He had a 91% completion percentage. He was unbelievable in this game. I think he's going to end up winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I think the Commanders as a whole need to be considered as a potential playoff team just because of how good Jaden Daniels has been performing. Their defense is still bad, though. Their defense is still bad. The Bengals are moving the ball at will. That missed kick by McPherson and that missed 2-point conversion that probably should have had a pass interference ended up being the difference in this game. But Jaden Daniels is unbelievable. On the Bengals side of things, I'm just gonna let you guys take care of it on the Cincinnati side.
I had Jaden Daniels as my Rookie of the Year going into the league or going into the season.
What did I say? During draft time, I was like, hey, I could see Jaden Daniels being QB1.
You did say that.
I love Jaden Daniels, and it's cool to see him balling out. But I'm gonna hone in real quick here. I'm gonna give my best Stephen A. Smith impression here. Bengals are atrocious defensively. And Nick and I, we talked about this for a long time, and I had said it the entire offseason. Their defense is terrible. Defense is bad. Right up the middle, they're plagued with injuries. You can't stop. They're terrible.
Their secondary's secondary's as bad as I thought it could be this year. They're inexperienced.
Yep. And even they honed in last night on the run game, plain and simple. But that left the secondary completely exposed. And then last week, you hone in and you keep Patrick Mahomes from making the deep ball play, and you give up 5 to 10, almost 5 to 7 yards a carry. I don't know what else to say. The defense is a problem. Tyler Boyd leaving, it plays a big factor in the wide receiver room, and then the extreme decrease in talent, in my opinion, from Joe Mixon to Zach Moss and Chase Brown is showing tremendously. And
Zach Moss had a good game though last night.
Zach Moss is,
he's not a Joe Mixon, but he didn't play bad. He was picking up blitzes all night. He had a touchdown.
He had a good night. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. But at the same time, I'm not
thrilled with Zach
Moss.
With
this offense. This offense isn't that great.
Truthfully, I don't think the offense is the problem. They literally did not punt last night.
I don't think the offense is a problem either, and I expect you to be able to put up 30 against the stinking Commanders defense.
But that should win you a game.
I agree. And that just goes to show you how terrible the defense has been this year and how big of an issue it will continue to be this year. Sorry.
Okay, so to give my thoughts on this, I'm going to probably keep it short because, we'll have an Around the Jungle episode coming out here soon. But my thoughts on this are, I honestly agree with Joel. I still am not overjoyed with the offense. Burrow played a good game. They didn't punt last night, so, last night, offense was pretty solid, but I still just feel like
you have a lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah, it just lacks cohesion, and I said this, when Tyler Boyd left, that's a big hit. I mean, Tyler Boyd was an unsung hero of our receiving room. He is one of the more underrated receivers in the entire NFL. He hasn't really done anything with the Titans, but, when he was a Bengal, he was a dang good receiver. So that's a hit. And I would agree with Joel. The running back room is definitely a step down. Joe Mixon was a dude. And, Zach Moss, haven't been overly impressed with him, but I think he's done well. I will once again question the severe underusage of Chase Brown. Every time he touches the ball, it's seven plus yards.
He averaged 9 yards a carry last night.
I don't understand why he doesn't play more. That is just beyond me why Chase Brown doesn't play more. Every time he touches the ball, 7+ yards. Every time. It is beyond me that he doesn't play more. So that's the offensive side of things. Now we'll go to the defense, or
the lack
thereof.
The lack thereof. We don't have a defense. There's just it doesn't exist. The Bengals defense doesn't exist.
It's Trey Hendrickson and nothing else.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson has been a force so far this year.
He didn't do anything last night until the fourth quarter. He was a non-factor. Yeah, in the fourth quarter.
He didn't do anything.
They got him a 2nd and 21, and they still converted it.
I understand that. Trust me, I know. I think Trey Hendrickson has had a good year so far, but there's no one else on defense. Defense is a serious issue. Run defense is atrocious. They can't defend anything. They can't defend the run. They can't defend the pass. The defense is terrible. It's unbelievably awful.
And you got guys
it is one of the worst defenses that I've ever seen.
You got guys on that defense that just need to shut their mouth and play.
I also agree with that. Because especially, because I don't mind trash talk when you can back it up.
Like
but
last
when
week,
you are as
talk trash
bad,
and you backed it up against Xavier Worthy.
When you are as bad of a defensive unit as they are, they can't talk at all. We just got diced up by a rookie on our home turf on a Monday night. They scored every time they had the ball. Just absolutely absurd. I don't care how good Jaden Daniels may be for a rookie. He's a freaking rookie.
Yeah, he's
in a home night game.
It's inexcusable.
Our defense is immaculately terrible. I don't even have words to describe how terrible this unit is. It doesn't exist. This is an awful, awful, awful defense.
But the thing is, the Bengals had more yards. They had more total yards. They had more passing yards. They had more rushing yards. They averaged more yards per play. They just couldn't get off the field. They could not stop Washington. Washington did whatever they wanted to.
I mean, when you're in the clutch moment of the game, and there's 3 minutes left, 3 minutes, whatever it was, and you have them in a 2nd and 20 with a rookie quarterback, and you allow them to pick that up.
Yeah, Lou Anarumo blitzing on that 3rd and 13 was baffling to me. Play zone and get it to a 4th and 7. And then if they still want to go for it, they need 7 yards, and if they don't get it, you get the ball at midfield. Instead, you give them a 4th and 3 that can be easily picked up with Jaden Daniels' legs. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I understand what he's doing, setting pressure against a rookie. I totally understand that. But, I mean, on the same hand, it's 3rd and 13. Get your butt back and make a tackle.
Just play at the sticks. Just play 6-7 yards down the field and make a tackle and make them punt the ball. I don't understand it.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no words for this defense.
Here's the thing, though.
And I personally think the offense could be better, too.
With Cincinnati, because of their schedule, like I was looking at their schedule this morning, I genuinely think every single game on their schedule outside of maybe at Baltimore is a winnable game. Like
it's a very losable game, too.
Yeah, if their defense can go from being awful to just average, they can still win 10 or 11 games and be a playoff team. I still fully believe that because I think the offense is easily good enough, but I know they were injured. Their defense was non-existent last night, and that's a major issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if you're looking at playoffs with this team anymore, to be honest with you.
They got to win a game before you start talking about that.
When you drop 2 home games to the Patriots and the Commanders, I don't even know if you're considering playoffs anymore. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just hoping we beat the Panthers. I don't even know if we will, honestly. To be full-on honest with you, I was half tempted to pick the Panthers for this week's predictions. I mean, this team is abysmal. This is an awful. This is probably the worst Bengals team I've seen since we've got Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I'll make it quick because you guys pretty much said a lot of things. First off, I want to give credit to Jay Daniels. He played absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare that you have that type of a performance, especially as a rookie. As bad as the defense is, it's still hard to only complete two incompletions.
He had more touchdowns than incompletions last night.
Keep in mind.
So full credit to him. He is flourishing in that Cliff Kingsbury offense. But yeah, on the Bengals side, against the Commanders, you're expected to score 30-plus points. So the offense did their job this week. They got Jamar Chase involved a lot, which I was happy about because he really hasn't been involved as much as we would like him to be. Andre Yoshervos again had another touchdown. He's had, I think, 4 in 3 games. But yeah, the defense was just awful. 0 pressure at all. They're still missing tackles. And the secondary, I mean, our safeties, Dax Hill, Geno Stone, Von Bell, had a pass coverage rate of 40, which is terrible. So it's like you have this game against the Chiefs where you should have won that game. You outplayed the Kansas City Chiefs, and then you come back and you're down, 17-13 at half?
I think it was...
No, it was worse.
I think it was 21-13.
21-13. And then, yeah, I mean, the Commanders score on every possession they're on the field. I mean, granted, the Bengals did too, but at some point, if you want to be a playoff team and like a team that the people think the Bengals should be, you have to be able to make stops. And they just didn't do that today. The offensive line played well, but Joe Burrow wasn't pressured a whole lot. But it's just the run defense was better, but there was no pass rush at all. Sam Hubbard was terrible, and nobody else was any good. Trey Anderson didn't do anything until the fourth quarter. The secondary was soft, like 2nd and 20.
Their linebackers couldn't cover anyone.
Yeah, it's like every time there was just players open, people like the one that kind of frustrated me was they ran a screen pass and the guy caught it and ran all the way across the field and probably broke like 7 tackles.
Yeah, so we can't tackle either.
Was that the play where Geno Stone laid him out at the end?
Yeah.
I was also very angry with that.
How
do you throw a freaking smoke screen and let him pick up 15 yards on 3rd and long?
I think they only got like 7 yards, but it should have been like 2. It should have stopped him when he caught it.
Dax Hill was right there, and the guy did a simple like juke move, and Dax just didn't move.
Can't tackle. We'll throw that on the list of issues too.
Lou Anarumo needs to rethink that scheme because it really only works against the Chiefs. I mean, he has a great scheme against the Chiefs, but I mean, you can't let the Commanders have 38 points against you. You just can't allow that. So something needs to happen. defensive wise. And I think the offense played a better game. So I mean, if the offense plays what they did this yesterday, here on out, they'll be fine. But they're going to lose a lot of games if this defense cannot step it up. And 0-3 is a big hole to dig yourself out of. So
no team has ever won.
I think what is it? 2% of teams in NFL history have gone to the playoffs after being 0-3. So
yeah, I just could not possibly be more upset with this performance. I mean, I am still mind blown that we are sitting here discussing a third consecutive loss to the Commanders. That is just mind blowing to me.
Here's what I will say: the Colts started 0-3 in 2021. They ended up being 9-6 after Christmas, and then Carson Wentz peed down his leg. But we don't have to talk about that. So it is possible for them to climb out of this hole. They just gotta go back to the drawing board.
We shall see.
I don't think I have any faith in this team anymore. So we'll see, I guess.
I didn't after week 3 either, and then Jonathan Taylor decided to go nuclear. So we'll see.
All right, let's get into some predictions here.
Rapido.
It wasn't our best week.
I went 6-10.
Yeah, me, Nick, and Joel all went 6-10. You went 8-8.
What?
Okay. Well, there we go.
So not a great week.
This is egregious.
The overall standings, Weave's leading.
The only thing I won this week, fellas.
Yeah, Weave, you're leading now with 27-21 record.
Yeah,
me and Nick are 26-22, and Joel is an even 24-24.
Yikes!
Wait, I got 26. You said
you're
at
27.
Me and Evan are at 26.
So you're a game in front of me and Nick.
Good. I'm making my predictions right now.
So let's hope that this week is better.
Yeah.
Starting off on Thursday, we got the Cowboys at Giants.
Cowboys.
Give me the boys.
Should be the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to take Dallas in this game.
Ooh. All right, Sunday slate, we got Broncos, Jets.
Broncos, Jets. I got the Jets in this one.
I'm going to take the Jets in this game. It's in New York, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the Jets should win this game. The Jets, we didn't really talk about the Jets. The Jets were phenomenal.
They were
really good.
They looked very good.
Aaron Rodgers might be.
Granted, it was the Patriots, but
still they
still looked really good though.
Yeah.
Yes, they did look really good. Vikings at Packers. This one should be fun.
Okay.
This was the one that I just was like ooh about.
This one is a little tough because I'd like to know a little more information on if Jordan Love's playing or not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Jordan. I'm going to make this prediction with the assumption Jordan Love plays, and I'm taking the Packers. If Jordan Love does not play, then the Vikings win.
So it says Jordan Love will be practicing this week as a limited participant.
So it'll probably be a game time decision.
I would imagine, yeah, he'll be questionable in a game time decision.
I don't even know how to make this decision then.
I was praising the Vikings. I'll take the Vikings in this
game.
game.
It's in Lambeau too, by the way.
I was praising the Vikings earlier. I'll take Minnesota in this game. Although I think if Jordan Love ends up playing, I think the Packers will probably end up winning this game.
I'm going to go with the Packers. I think Malik Willis has been playing pretty good ball.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take the Packers on this one too. This is a tough one though because the Vikings have totally shut out teams they have no business shutting out.
I gotta make up some ground somehow.
Yeah, give me the Packers here.
Vikings for me. Skull.
Sam Darnold is questionable with a bone bruise on his left knee, but he should play.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Vikings as well. I'll go with Nick. But I think it's going to be a very good game. Big divisional game. Saints at Falcons.
This is a tough game, too.
I'm going Falcons. I think Falcons.
Yeah, I also am taking the Falcons here. On the Falcons train.
I think I'll go with Atlanta, too. It's in Atlanta. Very much a roller coaster of a season so far, but I think they'll end up getting the job done. I think the Saints kind of came back down to earth this past week.
They gotta do something. They gotta get going sometime.
Yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta as well, but I think it's going to be a really good game. And Mercedes-Benz should be a good one. All right, Bengals at Panthers.
Give me the Panthers. I'm being dead serious.
No, I can't even.
I'm picking the Panthers.
I can't.
Until the Bengals secondary shows me that they can stop a nosebleed, I don't trust them against Andy Dalton.
I'm still going Bengals. I'm gonna go Bengals, even though I just tore them apart.
Yeah,
blinded by the Bengals glasses.
I think I'm gonna have to go the Bengals here too. I mean,
you really thought that Zach was gonna take the Panthers?
He was thinking about it.
Hey, to be full and honest with you, I really wanted to take the Panthers here, but it's the Panthers.
Yeah, surely.
I mean,
surely.
You know, I mean, it's like if we lose to the Panthers, I think I will genuinely pick against us for the rest of the season.
If they lose this game, it's time to tank for Travis Hunter.
Yeah. No, I fully agree with that. So it's like, as terrible as the Bengals are, I'm like, surely they can beat the Panthers.
Surely.
Now I'll go ahead and give you a spoiler alert for next week.
Close game.
I'll go ahead and give you a spoiler alert for next week. I'm going to pick the Ravens, but for this week, I still got to pick the Bengals. There is a way, but give me the Bengals.
There is a way.
Just give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals as well. They have to win this game or the season's done.
Be different, Nick.
Officially.
I would, honestly, if we tank for Travis Hunter, I wouldn't hate it though. So
I want Travis Hunter.
Well, if Anthony Richardson keeps throwing these picks, then it might happen.
Hey, don't disrespect Big Tony.
I didn't slander him like I was considering doing, but
he was really good. That would be valid. He was terrible.
Slander would be warranted.
Yeah, it'd be warranted.
What was that one?
Eagles at Bucks.
Oh, Eagles-Bucks. Okay, this was my one upset that I picked. I picked the Buccaneers. I think the Eagles are extremely like you said, Nick, they're very
error prone.
Yeah, so and the Buccaneers have been looking really good so far. So I'm gonna take the Buccaneers here.
I lost by 20 to the Broncos.
I don't think this is as much
a bounce back game. It's fine. Everyone drops the game they have no business dropping. And it's at the Buccaneers.
Zach, I don't think this is as much of an upset game as you think.
Yeah, I could very easily see Tampa Bay winning. I think I'm going to pick Tampa Bay in this game, actually.
Fair enough. Buccaneers all around. Evan?
Yep. I'm going Bucks, too.
Oh, nice.
I mean, in Tampa Bay, they've been playing fairly well other than last week. And the Eagles, they're secondary.
If the Eagles can just fix some of their errors, they're Super Bowl contenders. But,
Yes, but they are sailing into the Pirates' Cove.
That's true.
So,
they are
AJ Brown's still out, too, so...
And Devontae Smith might not play because he got a concussion.
Exactly.
They are in extremely hostile territory. The pirate ship in the stadium. The pirate ship in the stadium is going to be firing many cannonballs. So I'm picking the Buccaneers.
All right. Jags at Texans.
Texans.
I got to pick Houston in this game.
I'm going Houston.
I have to.
Yeah. I don't think the Jags. No. Give me the Texans.
All right, Steelers at Colts.
Okay. I actually think this is a winnable game for Indianapolis because Pittsburgh's offense isn't, spectacular, right? But I can't.
But their defense
and the Colts' offensive line, I've said it earlier, has been best in the league through 3 weeks. But T.J. Watt is still going to do T.J. Watt things. And I don't trust Anthony Richardson against a defense of Pittsburgh's caliber. So I'm going to take the Steelers in a low-scoring win, I think.
Low scoring, boring game.
Just how Pittsburgh wants it. 15-10 Steelers, probably.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take the Steelers here, too, as much as I want to take the Colts. But this will be another one of those unwatchable football games.
Evan?
I'll go Colts. Like you said, Nick, their offensive line's been playing well, and I don't think the Steelers can continue to be they can't be 4-0. That's insane.
They very well
They
can
very
be
well
4-0.
could be
I know.
4-0.
But in Indy, it's going to be a bad game.
They broke the streak last year. They beat the Steelers last year.
I'm going to give the edge to the Colts.
I'm going with the Colts as well.
There we go.
Wow, I'm very pessimistic. Okay.
Wait, you picked the Steelers, didn't you?
No.
No, he didn't make a pick.
He didn't pick anybody. All right.
Well, I'm probably going to be wrong on this one, but that's okay.
I'd
Rams
happily be
at
wrong.
Bears.
Ew.
I think I'm going to take Chicago in this game. The Rams are still decimated with injuries, and the Bears defense is still good. So I don't know if LA is going to have as much of success as they did last week offensively. I think I'm going to take Chicago in this one.
Duh, Bears.
I'll probably go with the Bears as well here.
Yeah, I'll go with the Bears as well. The main reason why the Rams won that game last week was just Kyren Williams went off, but the Bears, their defense has been pretty solid. So. Commanders at Cardinals.
Ooh.
Shocker. Give me the Cardinals in this game. I think everyone's going to be riding the Commanders train after their win on Monday, but the fact is their defense is still terrible. In a high-scoring game, I think Kyler Murray and company kind of do what they want to offensively. The Commanders probably do what they want to offensively too, but I think the Cardinals will end up making more plays and win a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals here as well. I like Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison.
Cardinals.
I will Cardinals as well. All right, Patriots at 49ers.
49ers.
Niners.
Should be 49ers.
I've got to pick the Niners in this game.
This one is an interesting one. Browns at Raiders.
Oh, gosh. This is one I could see the Browns winning, but I also could see them blowing it.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm going to take Cleveland in this game.
I don't think they're going to blow it to the Raiders.
Yeah, I just think they're a better
The Ravens did.
I mean, I guess they blew to the Giants last night or Saturday.
They did lose to the Giants, so it's like if you lose to the Giants, you could probably lose to any team in the league. But.
I mean, shoot, dude. I don't know. The Browns looked really, really bad. That terrible O-line. And
I still think the Browns are just a better team than the Raiders, so I'm going to take the Browns.
I think defensively, this is a game that the defense is going to win the game.
Yeah. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Browns as well. But I very well could see the Raiders winning.
Yeah, I'm going Browns too if I didn't say it.
Chiefs at Chargers.
Ooh.
You know, if Derwin James was playing, I would be tempted to take the Chargers because the Chiefs are due to lose a game. But he's not playing. He just got suspended.
He's suspended, right?
Yeah. He got suspended for that, yet Deshaun Watson still gets to play football. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And Rashid Rice.
Yeah, and Rashid Rice gets to. Rashid Rice less so because legal reasons, but I'm going to take Kansas City in this game. They kind of own the AFC West. I don't think that's going to change this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kansas City as well. I think that the Chargers might be able to slow them down a little bit, but yeah, Kansas City.
Be different, you two.
I'm back up Brown. Give me the Chargers.
I'm kind of bouncing back and forth with this one here because I could see Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers winning this one, but they are definitely the far inferior team.
Sometimes you got to take a leap of faith.
Also, the Chiefs have got bailed out of 2 very losable games the past 2 weeks. Give me the Chargers. Why not?
There we go. All right, Sunday night, Bills at Ravens.
Ooh.
This is a good one.
I'm going with the Ravens. I think they carry it on, and as long as they don't blow a lead again, I think they'll be okay.
Bills, Ravens, you said.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I think it'll be a really good game, though. I just think that the Ravens have a better, well-rounded team.
I'm taking Buffalo, man. Josh Allen is playing on. He's been by far the best quarterback in the league, and that defense is legit. I get they haven't played an elite offense, but I mean, I think they're going to do enough to shut down the Ravens' rushing attack. I'm going to take Buffalo in a Instant classic.
I don't know who to pick on this one. This one's tough.
This is a very tough one.
I'll go Ravens at home. Go to 2-2. I think that their rushing game is very good. But I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. All right. On Monday, we have another 2 Monday night games. We have the Titans at Dolphins.
Gosh.
Don't care.
Who's the Dolphins quarterback now?
Don't know. Couldn't tell you. Didn't Skylar Thompson get hurt?
Yeah. It was
Tim Boyle, right?
Tim Boyle.
Yeah, I'm going to take this. I don't even know.
I might go Titans here.
The Titans are terrible too. We didn't talk. I mean, we kind of talked on the Titans, but Will Levis is awful.
The Dolphins don't have a functioning quarterback.
But they
Neither
still
do the Titans.
So it says Skylar Thompson's questionable.
I think I'm going to take Miami in this game just because even with the quarterback battle being poop versus pee, the Dolphins have more weapons. Like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I have faith.
That was what I was.
Yeah,
I have faith that they can do more than like an old D Hop and like Tyler Boyd.
You also forget about Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, and Calvin. Yeah, I didn't.
I'm gonna go with
Calvin
the Finns.
Yeah, Calvin really turns the tide of this game.
Well, you know what? Give me the Titans.
Fair enough.
This game sucks balls. I'm gonna have to probably go with the Dolphins.
This game was a lot more interesting, like when it was drafted during the season. Now the season is played out, and it's like, who cares?
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna have to go Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dolphins. Just hand the ball off to Devon A-Chain and let him run. All right, final game of the week.
Actually,
Seahawks at Lions.
This will be a good game. I'm very excited to watch this game. See if the Seahawks are for real. I'm gonna take Detroit in this game, though.
I'm gonna probably take Detroit as well here.
I'm also going to Detroit.
Be different. 4-0 Seahawks.
Here we go. All right, well, let's hope that we have a better week this week.
Last week was abysmal. We will be better.
We struggled.
I was 500.
I don't know about this.
I wouldn't like praise that.
Mine is probably going to end very poorly because I'm taking Flyers.
I literally picked the Panthers.
I picked the Chargers to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's true. That did happen.
It's equal.
And I took the Titans.
Hey, if Tim Boyle is the quarterback, that probably
no. That's like a
if
valid.
Skylar Thompson's the quarterback, I feel okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Miami got screwed.
They didn't do anything the other day.
But that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.